What's the YouTube say? Come on, YouTube.
No, you're not up yet. Refresh. Yep.
Are we live?
Yeah.
Are we there? Oh, yeah, we are. What's the...
It's the echo in your brain. You know you can't sustain the misconceptions in your mind. One day you'll see for sure what all of this was for. Then you can leave it all behind. The journey begins. I am the one, yeah, that will show the proof. I am the one, yeah, that is searching for the truth. I am the whispers of the logic in your mind. I am an agent of the logos. In the beginning was found this thing that cannot speak. It's how we all truly learn. It's only ever attained when one lets go of fear. So don't let wisdom pass you by. The journey begins. I am the one here that will show the proof. I am the one here that is searching for the truth. I am the whispers of the logic in your mind. I am an agent of the logos. It was there all along. How could I never have seen this thing that's danced all around? It wasn't until I left behind the things I believed that I could see things so clear. The journey begins. Become the one here that will show the proof. Become the one here that is searching for the truth. Become the whispers of the logic in their mind. Become an agent of the logos. Become an agent of the logos. We are the agents of the logos.
We are live. Tuesday night, Logic night, favourite night of the week. I titled this one, What's the Point? Because mainly, what's the point of logic? Not what's the point. Point in geometry is nothing. But the point of logic is a completely different matter. What's the point? What's the point of us being here? There is none. But what's the point of logic? Well, logic is how we communicate. It's how we can know we're on the same path. There's some sort of a connection that people make. And logic to me is that it's the equalizer, the way of everybody can be on the same page. But it's changed a little bit recently. People think logic's different. By your logic, that means, well, it doesn't mean anything. That statement means nothing, because people don't have their own individual logic. Good evening, all. Good day, all. I'll put a shout out to the chat. There you go. Good day, all, in the chat. Yeah, what's the point in logic? Well, it's based on an if-then thing, isn't it? If P, then Q. Dead simple. Really easy to get a grip on. If I put my hand in boiling water, then I will get burned. If I eat that food there, then I will die. It's poisonous.
Can't prove that. You might be still alive.
Yeah. By your logic, that means it's like you can't change the logic of this basics things, right? There are things that will definitely happen in certain circumstances. So you can't get around that with anything else, right? The logic is a shortest way of saying the truth in a fact statement. And it's been taken away from us. Obviously, that simple. I mean, everybody knows a basic fact when they see one or hear one. They know what it is. But they've been taught to not trust it. They've not been taught not to trust themselves. So the logic tonight is just going over. How did we get logic? Where did logic come from? Some say it's just in there, like it's. I say, you know logic when you hear it or see it because it makes sense. You instinctively it's like you already knew it, and you were just remembering it.
As you were saying that, I got a thought, which I never thought of logic that way. Could it be like a sense? Like a seventh sense? It's always there, like, instinctively. Don't go there, like,
I think.
I don't know.
Yeah, there's got to be something, hasn't there? I say, anyway, Logos has brought us all here together. It's like I can't see me being any other place than being here. Within this, the set of circumstances that have led me to be here are those, right? And so I call that Logos. You can't really get away from it. And I think that's what I call Logos. It guides me, but it's a natural thing, right? Whether Logos was there first or these statements that come from it, the natural truths, what were considered to be old school, self-evident truths. That's what they had back in the day. Straight line is that which lies evenly between its points, but they understood evenly. I mean, that makes sense because, you can, but I think comes from geometry, comes from logic, and logic is obviously a set of statements born from reality also. So logic, geometry, and reality have always had a very stable togetherness in what we do here. So logic surely must have, it should be simple because you should already know it.
Yeah, it's built in. It's like a built-in, like even in nature, right?
Yeah.
The Fibonacci sequence, the way shells are, the way leaves form, math, right? Geometry. It's like there. And we maybe we found it like through the through people seeing this, right? Seeing how nature works and stuff. I don't know.
I
something.
found it because people told me something that just didn't seem right. And I went on a search to find what was right. I mean, was it me? Is it me that's making the mistake? Is it, all of these other things? Or what is it? So you go and find the answers. Because, I mean, initially when I did come in here, my particular set of circumstances were that I never had a model of anything. Like, I've never had a feeling that I've ever had a purpose for anything. So I'm always judging things one way or the other, and is that the way to be, or is that... So I've been doing that, and then somebody challenged me to go and find something for myself. Well, I had to do that for myself. And if it wasn't for him challenging me, I don't know whether I'd have gone on the journey on my own. And it was only the extremeness of the challenge that led me to go on the search, but not for a search for myself, but it was just a logos journey. Just one step on the path that turned me to go and actually ask someone a question. And I came to an arena where I asked people questions, and nobody has ever had an answer. They just have obfuscation tactics, diversionary tactics to lead you away from a simple question. And now we're here with lots of questions and nobody to answer them other than ourselves, that was the journey all along. The journey was to ask yourself the questions, to challenge yourself, to find the answers. In this arena that we're in, there are no experts. Everyone is on a journey on their own, and it's up to everybody on their own to find whatever it is they're looking for. What I'm hoping we can do, because I mean I learn from everybody I talk to, is we can challenge people in the way that I was challenged, because I think we had somebody in today into the Discord, Flat Earth Goddess. Thanks for coming and talking. It was very strange and challenging also to go through a conversation with misunderstandings and stuff. I'm sure it's challenging for everyone, but that's what we're here for, is to get challenged and be challenged. And within this Discord server, it's the best place to hash it out, because we've been going over logic, and one of the main considerations, I think, that has helped us learn within logic is that it's got to be a more than a one-man thing. It's a 2, 3, 4. More people have input, the better within logic. That's the formulation of an argument. Like we said at the beginning, when we started this, we started it where we were formulating statements and logical arguments. That was just purely to trigger the people that we knew can't get involved with logic. There's an entire group of people that looking at logic is too triggering because the model conflicts with a lot of things. Logic is sort of, I'd say, a model killer. And that's why a lot of people don't like to talk. But the conversation that we had today was great. We've had 2 conversations, actually. Brenda popped in a little bit earlier. Talk a little bit about logic. Tell us what we didn't know. Ended up telling us some weird story about playtime at the beach. I don't know. But Brenda left shortly after telling us that. So, logic. What's the point of logic? Well, the point of logic to me is a way to order and get a consistent discussion. It taught me the ability to define things. If you're ever going into a discussion, into a debate with anybody, particularly in this bit that we're in here, there's a lot of strange people around. One of the best things you want to be knowing about first is how to define what it is that you're talking about. Law of identity. That's all you need, really. It's a good, stable base of what it is that you're talking about. And then a discussion should be easy. So I haven't really planned on much for today, other than to reiterate the point that the logic is derived from truthful statements that you can't really get around. Once there's a logical statement, both sound and valid, then that should be the end of the discussion. But what we're showing, what we've been able to show, is that it never ends. Even when you have an obviously truthful statement, there's an obfuscation tactic for that, to keep the circular argument going on and on, never ending. And it's getting a bit old. But it looks like people don't really want that. GIF ain't working on. Oh yeah, the GIF. Yeah, it stops doing it. I need a new graphics card on my PC. It wasn't built for doing all fancy graphics and stuff. It's just meant for easy streaming. Oh yeah, I don't know. Is this a bad day? I thought Tuesday was a good day. But it seems like we've not hyped it up enough. unless there's a load of other streams going on at the minute.
Yeah, there's a lot of streams going on. At least 2 that I know of.
Or no one's interested in talking about logic tonight.
Yeah, there's a, like we say, there's a very, very finite group of people that will be able to talk about logic. It's upsetting. It's painful for them to hear, as we heard with the contradictions. I think the most revealing thing for me personally over these past few weeks, I've always known there's something a little bit strange about what's going on round here, and the circular arguments and the involvement of like Flat Earth Society / Globe Earth Society going round and round circular arguments. But delving into logic and the paraconsistent logics that Brenda actually brought to us. It was Brenda that said that and took us into that to find out that logic, there is a logic system that works, and it works on truth values. Well, if you inject a inconsistency within the logic, a contradiction that you can leave into the logic, then that explodes the truth value system of the logic, and you can literally make anything true. Well, that's if you let that system into the logic system. But I mean, people don't know about logic, then they're not aware of these particular things within the system of thought that they're already using. And Brenda showed us ideally what happens when you do that. When you let the your logical system get messed up, then you cannot even see a contradiction when it's right in front of you. Well, even when it's shown you, you can't see it because it's not there. You're blinded
I was actually,
to it.
I was actually thinking about that today after our discussion, and it led me to think about, because I think a lot of people say that they have logic or they have logos or they understand what it is, and you don't have logic and you don't even know what logic is. That, you know, Brenda was informing us of that a little earlier today. But what I was pondering is, is there something that shows that one might have logic or logos versus another? So I was pondering that, and today's discussion that we had with a certain individual that came into Discord, and it was a good chat, was the word that came to me was peace, serenity, right? Peacefulness. When we have folks like Brenda and others that come in and they get absolutely triggered by simple logic or logos, or at least what we think it is, right? You don't have to agree with us necessarily. But then to just get completely triggered and, epithets flowing and, swearing and demeaning and that kind of thing. To me, that's the thing that says, there's no logos there. There's no logic there. Yeah. Despite what that person might say, right? That's a pretty interesting thing to me. Because you just, like you said, you just go off. Somebody could just go off a simple thing. It's no accusations, just pointing out a contradiction in the logic. And it's like, holy man. There's clearly not a logic there.
Yeah, Mike's in the chat here. Mike, we did have Brenda come round, but we also had Flat Earth Goddess come round for a conversation. So yeah, the great conversation wasn't with Brenda, although
No.
it was funny as
It was interesting.
it was
I will say that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, there was another good conversation. I think it was good for most people. Got to say quite a lot, right? It was a getting to know you type of thing that we had earlier, and the conversation was, I asked, how well do you deal with contradictions? I think, or how do you cope with contradictions? And yeah, it went as expected, or I don't know. Cog dis, I think cognitive dissonance is when somebody points out a contradiction. Now, there are multiple different reactions that you can go through when somebody points that out to you. So you're, in effect, you have the cognitive dissonance. And cognitive dissonance is whatever happens in your brain to help you come to realize whatever it is, right? There's a conflict. And it now seems as well that mentioning that there is a contradiction is in itself a cog dis sort of triggering state that you can put people in just by mentioning the contradictions. Because I think people have a deep down, they have an understanding that they know contradictions are already there. And it is a coping mechanism. Cognitive dissonance is like the state of you being in that shock or mental, like what do you do at that point? And there are many different ways of you dealing with it, in which a lot of people employ, like Brenda, diletheism. Diletheism is some sort of an axiom that you're like, I can't imagine how it works because I'm not in that particular state of mind, but it works like this. You have there's a contradiction. So like the recipe, the drug or whatever to deal with it is you inject something in that says, well, there are no truths. You can't have any truths. So having something that contradicts itself means that you could have both truth and false. If there are no truths, then you could have something being true and false. If everything is both true and false at the same time, or anything that you choose to be both true and false at the same time, then you can switch it on and off. You can switch it to be true and you can switch it to be false. Or you could have it just being in a state of flux where it's both of them.
Both truths, yeah. You can have both truths as well, yeah? Yeah.
Well, once you lose the truth system within the logical framework, literally anything could happen, but you still obviously have to deal with it because the contradiction doesn't stop occurring. It's a mental thing, right? You can't put your hand in the fire and get burned and not get burned, right? That in reality, you can't. This system doesn't actually work in reality. But if what you're making up as a reality contradicts actual reality, well then you might need to employ this. If you believe a falsehood or you've took on a falsehood as a truth, then these contradictions will obviously occur. And that's hard work to deal with. If you've took on something that is a falsehood, somebody shows you a contradictory fact to deal with that, then what do you do? How do you work that?
Yeah, and we talk a lot here about frequency and vibration. There's a certain vibration or frequency to that contradiction that you're talking about. And I think you can see that or feel it. I'm not sure.
Yeah. Talking to people and having those conversations, I find now is it seems like I've always triggered people with questions. Maybe too challenging, or it's sort of, I don't know. But not having a model allows me to be able to ask questions that other people may not see. I don't know whether the blinkers come on, or I don't know, but logic to me seems something that's so intuitive. It's almost like it's a natural state. But
it feels like it's built in.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. It feels like it's built in, like another sense to me. It's logical. You know you can't put your hand in the fire. You know you're not going to jump off the cliff. You're not going to walk close to the edge, right? Logic, like, it's just, I don't know.
It's natural,
Some
right?
people, yeah. Almost like a seventh sense.
And when you think, because I've been going over this Brenda video, the live stream one that we did, and it needs to be recorded as a standalone, because not a lot of people will get to hear all of the things, and not a lot of people want to hear Brenda too much. We don't really want to hear too much Brenda. Luckily, Mike's shite, so you don't really need to hear that much anyway. But
it's like the unlogic, you know?
yeah.
If there was an unlogic, Brenda's picture would be there.
It's like a step backwards. But that's how we learn. But there's a limit to how much you can learn from negativity. And when you know you can get to the point with somebody where they're denying what a straight line is because of some sort of axiom change of some words or something that somebody, you know, at that point that's intellectual dishonesty, or some sort of strange perception that their intellectualness is much greater than yours, where they have the power of knowing what a straight line is and you don't. That's overstep the mark for me within an intellectual framework. A straight line is a straight line. I mean, there is nothing more elemental than a straight line.
When you have the model, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right away, as soon as you said that, right? It's like snap your fingers, and in their brain, they see the ball right away. And they put that line on the ball. That's how they justify it. It's instant. They don't even think about it. Yeah, it's straight, but that's an instant reaction.
Yeah, on a ball.
Yep.
Yeah, but on a ball. It's really strange.
I've got a guy telling me right now that his line of sight is both straight and curved simultaneously to the same target in the distance.
Nice.
Depending on what he's calculating for.
Yeah. That's how you cover your bases. Have both.
Yep.
Both straight and curved. That's the sort of stuff we have to deal with. Now, most people would think we're crazy. Why are we? Well, we're just here talking about logic, geometry, and reality. We do tests in reality and talk about simple things. And I grow, learn, laugh.
You know what's funny?
Go on.
Oh, sorry, Bev. I thought you were done.
No, go on.
I was gonna say Mike made me remember something. Like, I've always realized, and I even made a meme on this, that the people we deal with, they have the ability, it's a must, and they have it in spades. They have the ability to hold two opposing thoughts in their mind at the same time without even batting an eyelash. It's amazing. It's open, it's closed. It's spinning, it's stationary. We're moving, but we're not moving. We're traveling. Up, no, it's down. Level is horizontal. And I can go on and on.
Yeah, Mike's put it there in the chat. Tom. Everybody knows Tom. I've noticed this as well, and I might get back to McToon later, but they don't want to define anything, and that's the first rule of logic. Why are they wanting us to define what words and what things they should use? We're just asking them questions, and they're wanting us to define things. It's a very strange state of affairs, to be honest. Why people that have been telling us that we're stupid and we don't know anything, why are they the ones that are asking us what we will use to define things? How's the vote doing? I need to have a look at that. Does everybody think McToon? Only 5% of people, I think, McToon's going to define flat earth geometry. Thanks. I don't think he's going to be able to do it either. He's put himself in a really bad position. This is... Why logic? What's the point in logic? Well, the point in logic would state to me that you wouldn't put a $10,000 challenge out stating that the participants must use flat earth geometry without actually stating what the fuck flat earth geometry is. It's not real. It's not a real geometry. It's an imaginometry, as far as I'm aware of. It's an imaginometry akin to globe earth geometry. And yet McToon has put them both in his $10,000 challenge. Why do that? Is that a logical move that anyone would make? It isn't logical.
Yeah.
Unless oh, sorry, I see. Go ahead.
I was just going to say real quick, McToon, what is flat earth geometry, please?
And I was going to say, unless that's the point, right? Unless it's a gotcha and there's no intent to define anything because it's not an honest conversation and that's not an honest challenge. It's just a gotcha.
Mm-hmm.
So no need to define anything when it's just a gotcha.
Yeah, but that's 10,000, right? That's what I would say to people. If a man has put a challenge out stating that you must use something that's not real, there's no definition for flat earth geometry, but he states you must use it, the logical person must be able to say that's an invalid challenge, right? I mean, what's he doing? Waving it around at people where he set the stipulations that you must use something that's not fucking real. It's ridiculous. Unless he thinks it is real. I mean, could he be stupid enough to do that? I mean, is McToon stupid enough to be able to think that flat earth geometry is actually real? Do you think that McToon is that stupid that he thinks PhD Tony, when PhD Tony made that slip up thinking that Euclidean geometry was flat earth geometry, do you think that was enough to put it into McToon's head that flat earth geometry was a real thing? I hope so. Because that means that at somewhere along the line, Bev, talking to a PhD, I'm not too sure. Well, he has modelled flat earth models. He's made flat earth models for his PhD thesis. PhD Tony. I made him say that Euclidean geometry was flat earth geometry. Now, if that is me that did that, and McToon's has now put it into a stipulation of a $10,000 challenge, well then, I take my bow. There's no such thing. PhD Tony said it, talking to me about geometry, because he didn't understand. And Fight the Flat Earth had already made up non-Euclidean geometry. So I don't know if Fight the Flat Earth might be a little bit guilty of all of this as well. It might all be his fault. That would be ideal, wouldn't it? I mean, how would that be if the guy who calls himself Fight the Flat Earth was the guy that inadvertently brought around flat earth geometry? Can you imagine that? The guy that first told me that straight lines can curve is the one that's helped bring around flat earth geometry for the masses. But we'll be fine once we get McToon to define flat earth geometry.
Or if flat earth geometry really is Euclidean geometry, is that a way to denigrate Euclidean geometry? Make it synonymous with flat earth, right?
Well, that'd be, I mean, yeah.
It's possible.
Yeah. I think you'd struggle with that though, right? Right line geometry. I mean, if you want to get rid of right line geometry and say there's a little bit of curve in there, where's the curve? Don't know, because we've got a straight line anymore. Well, the straight line is the curve, but we're calling it straight. It's ridiculous. I mean, you have to drop all reasoning skills, all critical thinking, to be able to believe that a straight line can be both straight and not straight. That's a law of identity problem.
Wizard attempt at wizardry.
One of their specialties, no problem. Without blinking.
Yeah. And that's what, I guess, we've teamed up together here. There's a lot of very good critical thinking minds, and these people here won't let anything like that pass. The more people that can come that can think like that is better for us. And DP's nice design, that.
I think there's a Earth worshipper, Earth savior worshipper in the live chat that's got a question, Bev.
in the live chat.
Mm-hmm. On YouTube. What is a geodesic?
Oh, well, Brenda says it's a straight line. Just another word for a straight line. That's it. Well, what else do you want? We've got pictures of geodesic domes and all of that sort of stuff. It's just a straight line, no, right? It's a shape or whatever made up of straight lines. So the geodesic is a straight line. That's it. Framework of pixels or whatever, I think. Who was that? Who was that in the chat? Oh, Earth is Life.
Earth is Life.
Shout out.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
Yep.
well, good to have you back, people. Are you going to have that debate with DP? Or not? The one that you went round, everyone bigging up that DP couldn't go there.
Don't be silly, Bev. People spent the last year running away from his own debate. He's not going to man up to it now.
He's inquiring about geodesics. Straight lines, people.
Straight lines.
Yeah, watch out. I mean, I'm pretty sure that was the debate that you were going to have with him, wasn't it? On that sort of a topic. But yeah, I like B-ball coming round. Come for a chat if you want.
Yeah, people, come for a chat if you want.
You can do the surveying chat. I don't know whether he's been he's done any RBD face or anything like that.
No, he's Sly's mouthpiece at the moment, isn't he?
Ooh. Oh right, yeah. I didn't get a chance to go over any of those videos. Didn't make any logical sense for me to waste my time going over it, people. I don't like the way that they get too triggered if, you give them too much attention. So the point of the logic, I keep saying the logic, I suppose. Oh, yeah. I'm going to have to get that sorted. It's almost as though there's two things. There's logos and there's logic. I think I'm about to separate the two here now. Right, logic has to be thought about, whereas logos is that stuff that just comes to you.
It happens, yeah.
Yeah, you can't control logos, whereas logic, it takes a bit of thought. It's a bit of work. But, I mean, it's worthwhile. Logic.
One is like the little L, and the other one is like big L.
I see one of them as logic, and the other one is like the Greek, whatever that is. That's the more ancient one. It's RBD face. We'll have to go over that. All right. That's a genius attempt at a globe geometer pretending. Well, everybody knows that all horizontals are parallel. T-shirt logic states. Everybody knows it anyway. It's just a truthful thing. That's how we do surveying. It's called differential leveling. And you use all of those parallel horizontals to measure a difference, right? Now, that's obviously in reality. And local surveyors, no matter what they want to call themselves, will use parallel horizontals. Well, if you live on a globe mentally, then you have to devise some sort of method that you can do surveying using parallels, but have parallels intersecting with each other. It's genius. George showed it to us. It's a globe surveying method. Obviously hilarious to watch. Especially even when you start with the double rodding. Because that gets really confusing then. But you don't want to confuse them too much. We'll do RBD face and go over that because it needs to be gone over. We've also got a video of Rakia. We will get the Larry Scott one done at some point to go over. But logic, I mean, does it relate to reality? Yes, it does. The car can be either there or not there. And if you step out in front of it when it is there, then you'll get hurt. So, yeah, logic directly relates to reality. And in order to describe things geometrically, we use geometry. Now, that's so exact that they can do trigonometry. They can work out pi is a transcendental number, which means it never ends. We were going over that today. The consequences of a sphere being at a point and the volume or whatever they want to work out, because they have pi as a transcendental. Brenda showed us this, that when you make opposite reality, you know, that it, then they invert a sphere. So you have Euclidean geometry, so you have a sphere which is like a ball shape, 2D surface or whatever, but when you have a not sphere in not Euclidean geometry, non-Euclidean geometry, a not sphere, it's the opposite, which means that it never ends. There's the shape, the inverted sphere goes to infinity both sides. It never ends. There you go. SE's put it in the chat.
That's what Brenda showed us.
Yeah, that's the not
A
sphere,
not sphere.
isn't it? A not sphere.
Yeah.
In
That's the
not
not sphere.
geometry.
What
And-
kind of a mind could see that and say that that's a not sphere?
But the consequences of that, those two bits that go outwards, they go on forever. It never ends. And that's because of the transcendental number of pi. It never ends. So when you have it the opposite, it shows that the sphere is never ending. You can never get to the point. Because the point is nothing. It's not there. Transcendental number. So the sphere isn't of shape. And the not sphere shows that the sphere isn't a shape. And it isn't a shape because pi is not attainable. It's not a number. That freak of a shape shows it. But that's, in reality, we were discussing it today. The logic, if logic shows you that that sort of shape never ends, and that's the opposite of a sphere, well, a sphere obviously ends. It's got a center. The actual solid object, sphere, ball, does actually end. It's there, isn't it? You don't have a void that never you can never get to at the center of a sphere. In reality, it does actually exist, and it's not infinite. That shape isn't real. It's a mathematical concept that will never end because it keeps extending out. But you can't get that in reality. That's a not real shape. Doesn't exist. And the sphere, when taken literally in reality, is a 3-dimensional thing. And yeah, it does. It is definitely finite. You can chop it in half and have 2 hemispheres. You can do that. Which goes to show to me that the moment you add numbers to this system, it makes it impossible. So there's some sort of a code. Don't try and put numbers to this. If you put numbers to this, you will come up with infinity. You will come up with a number that doesn't end. It will be shown to you that you can't do it. Or that's just my logical interpretation of it. But the better way for me to describe it would be a circle or a pie can be cut into thirds. Mathematically, those thirds, 1/3, is 0.333333 recurring forever. Never ends. But obviously a third of a pie is easy to see, and it's easy to look at, and you can tell 1/3, they're all equal. But the number form of it never ends. That should sort of say, have you asking questions? The same way that 0 within the framework of mathematics and geometry, when you stick into reality, 0's not there. I was talking about this the other day. Geometry, reality, and the relationship of 1 to pi, which is a numerical number, but the relationship is the 1 you relate to the diameter, and the 3.14 is the amount of diameters you can fit around the outside of the circle. Well, that means you're relating the 1 part of it to the straight line. The mathematical problem is how do you get 0? If that's your framework, is 1 is something, 0 is nothing, which would be a point. Well, the point cannot be proved. You can never get to nothing because there will always be something. So the mathematical number bit, it freaked me out. It still does. How do you deal with the fact that numbers are just a way to describe describe reality? They're meant to describe reality. But if you can make pi into a number that doesn't ever end, does that mean that the circle doesn't exist, or means you can't fit an amount of diameters into the circumference? It's all very strange. I mean, do you trust numbers more than you trust reality? There's a lot of people that do. There's a lot of people that Brenda says that proofs aren't attainable in reality. They're only attainable in mathematics. And mathematics is purely conceptual fantasy. I mean, that's a long string of things to take a proof. Obviously, being able to be done in geometry. And logical proof, you know, formulated through that. Be done in reality. And I mean, how do you conceptualize it as a mathematical thing and then put the numbers in charge of something? That doesn't seem fair. Why should people that aren't good with numbers miss out on finding any proofs for themselves? Doesn't make sense. Doesn't make logical sense in my eyes. And fighting against what most people have been dealing with within this arena as an argument to nothing. But when you that's all you've been offered, an argument to nothing, where do you go? You keep trying to go on the argument until you can find what you're looking for. It's tough, this logic thing. For the model. I think it's tough for most people as well. We've had quite a lot of people come in that I don't know, they feel we're challenging. I mean, most of the time it's just basic questions. And we don't mean to put people on the spot. But the challenging nature of what we do when we're talking to people. Some people treat it as an attack. We had 2 or 3 people in the last week be claimed that we've been attacking them when we were just asking questions about stuff. And they've felt personally attacked due to a question. So if you want to know what those questions are, come on into the Discord. You want to know who those people are, come into the Discord. Can't tell you on air publicly. Would be embarrassing for those people. Pretty sure. So why logic? Why bother with doing any of this stuff? Well, I think in a debate scene, we should be dealing with as much honesty as we can, and a good, solid logical system is obviously one of the best ways to keep a truth table going, where you can all agree on it. We should all be able to agree on it, on how this is going. What's going on with the memes and the GIFs? It's crazy.
You'd think some people would thought it was Friday, free for all Friday.
Yeah.
Today.
It's logic. It's a bit hard to try and do a proper chat while we've got all sorts of stupid fucking monkeys. So yeah, logic. What's going on? Why do people not? Why can't people talk about logic? Why can't people talk about geometry? What's up with them in this arena? What's up with the people being able to not have conversations about things? Why do people... I don't know. The one that's getting me at the minute is McToon. I don't know that. I can't get my head around why a guy puts a $10,000... I mean, that's a lot of money, right? I presume he's got it. He says he's put it up in escrow. So I think that costs him money to be able to put it there and keep it there. Or I don't know. I mean... But without stipulating what flat earth geometry is, which is a must, people must use it, could he just come back at the end and say, no, that's not flat earth geometry? Because it's not a real thing. Might be a case of he might just be laughing, waiting for people to put it in, put a challenge in, and then he can laugh at them and say, ha 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 ha. It's like, make me a cocktail with unicorn milk, and then wait for somebody to come at him and go, ha ha ha, there's no such thing as unicorn milk. This is a lie, you're a liar. I presume something like that. So just be wary if anybody's thinking of doing it, because you might end up defining what flat earth geometry is for him. It's an imaginometry. I've asked him that as well, right? I did say, McToon, if you want to pit your flat earth geometry up against my imaginometry, I'm fully available for that, because we have made up a geometry. Yeah, we've already done it. We've got definitions, we've got axioms, we've got postulates, and we've even done a few propositions. So game on. If it's on about imaginometry, making up geometries, we're way ahead of you. So we can also, we can also match McToon with imaginometry. So we could say, we could use imaginometry, could we? If he wants us to define it with a geometry, then I could easily change axiom 1, could we? Do you reckon? Brenda says we're allowed to change axioms.
Anyone you wish, of course.
So we could just put axiom 1, 'tis flat. Right? And then just use imaginometry, right? All of the axioms, the definitions and all of that would apply, right? It's a made up imaginometry.
I like that. 'Tis flat, yeah. Axiom 1, Brenda. How do you like that? How do you like us now?
Yeah, I could definitely, if McToon wants us to define the geometry, then we've already got a fully logical system, and he wouldn't be able to disprove it, would he?
What's your proof, sir? Axiom 1. This globe. See ya. I mean, this flat. Sorry. It was a reflex.
Yeah, I forgot about the modified imaginometry. Yeah.
This flat. I rest my case. See ya.
Oh, and we're going to be doing in the Discord Globesman thing soon. We did a live showing the other day of we had a guy setting up a telescope live. He did for us. It was a comedy routine. We all did have a good laugh at that. It was comedy night. When was that? Was that Sunday night? It was late on Sunday night. for us anywhere in the UK. He was setting his telescope up like a bumbling fool, doing a comedy routine. It was good. He was interacting and playing the part. Great. We had Askin give us a presentation. Thank you very much, Askin. That was very good. We've had Flat Earth Goddess come round today. That was a good chat about contradictions. We get to learn all sorts of things. He's got the wires. There was a funny wire abrasion sketch. It was almost akin to the curvature switch sketch. I've done a few of those comedy routines. What have we got? FPV wants a globe proofs night. And that's never going to happen. There is no such thing as a globe proof. They'll tell you. I think, was it Wednesday tomorrow? Yeah, I think we've got a visitor coming on Thursday. Ready to do a rehash of a proof. Might be able to come round for that FPV. I don't know what time he's coming. It might end up being recorded. But if we can get him to do it live on Thursday night, I'll get that. That should be good. We need to have a conversation about proofs first, though. I don't think we've had a conversation about what we think proofs are and all of that. We've all got that sorted, but we've never had. I've never heard of the Globe Earth proof department. Obviously, because there isn't one. They don't exist. They can't find enough members to start it. Yeah, no such thing. No such thing as a globe proof. Definitely not geometric. There may be proofs in reality of reality and a misconception of a globe. Technical, I know, but yeah. I say there's only proofs in reality, and the globers say there is no proofs. So who knows? Who knows? People have proofs? That's the whole proof project thing. What is a proof to anyone? Logic. Has anybody got any other things? I mean, it's really early. I normally waffle on for a bit longer than this.
We should do one night on the nights that we know they don't come in. We should do one night proof night.
Yeah, but see, that's the thing. If we were to do a load of proofs, all they do is get a load of content saying, nuh-uh.
Not us.
Yeah. Well, you know,
not us.
they're never
We invite
gonna
them to come in. Yeah, we can give our opinion, of course, but yeah, non-threatening, no wrong answer. You come in and you say what proof is to you. I mean,
Yeah.
it's the least that we can agree upon, like the 2-3 sides, how many sides we are. At the very least, we should be able to come up with that, for the love of God.
Yeah. Oh, well, hopefully on Thursday we can get that conversation started with, what's he called, Erebus. Or anybody else wants to come in and have a conversation about proof. How we find proof, how we get proof. Talking about in reality, always in reality. The logical state of proof. And the realistic. It's got to be real. You've got to be able to do it real with one of the constituents.
Like, imagine not being able to agree on that. That's bad. And telling.
Yeah, plenty of votes, and it's not looking good for McToon. I don't think anybody's got faith that he can actually define what flat earth geometry is. And yet, his challenge based solely upon it. He's obsessed with flat
You know what?
earth.
They're obsessed more than we are.
Yeah.
They're obsessed about the earth more than we are. It's amazing.
Yeah. Imagine that. Go into all of the hassle of putting $10,000 down and stating something that's not even real. Well, I mean, I'm not saying it's not real, but I'm not aware of it in any maths courses. I'm not aware of globe geometry or flat earth geometry. I'm not aware of how you would separate the two, but I'm pretty sure there is quite a lot of globe proponents out there that I know on Twitter. That's a point. Let's see what this is. See in the live chat. He said, this is on Twitter. Now I don't know whether anybody's seen this anywhere, but he says, Bev, to give you a hand, I popped over to Discord and asked the person that advertised the very, very expert status on hashtag flat earth geometry on your behalf. I'm certain the definitions, documentation and axioms on flat earth geometry will be forthcoming very soon. Do you know who that is? That's McToon. Because I've been asking him on Twitter.
It's a clever publicity stunt.
Yeah.
I gotta give him credit for that. Thing is, sooner or later, you're gonna have to tell us what flat earth geometry is, bro.
What about that then? Boom. This is my pinned tweet on Twitter, where I made it ages ago. PhD Tony, I called you a flat earther. Remember that video? I called you a flat earther.
Oh,
He thought that was an argument. And he was the one that we were talking about geometry, and he said flat earth geometry. And McToon
got it from him.
that's McToon says he's been to a Discord server to ask me, or maybe he might have gone to PhD Tony. Has PhD Tony got a Discord server? Because he might have gone to go and ask PhD Tony what flat earth geometry is. Or, I don't know.
grab one of those space drinks, the tabs that you drink there, and tell us what flat Earth geometry is, please.
Do you have that voice clip of Tony saying flat Earth geometry?
Yeah, 540-degree triangles. 3 straight line triangles, isn't it? That's seriously PhD Tony. So McToon, like, that's what I'm saying. Like, do you reckon that I could have been inadvertently? Because I went to go and talk to PhD Tony all that time ago on Fight the Flat Earth's channel. Fight the Flat Earth was the one that introduced me to straight lines being curves. And then, obviously, that's what triggered PhD Tony into saying it was flat Earth geometry. And in that, I had to say to him, no, Tony. It's just Euclidean geometry. It's not flat Earth geometry. McToon couldn't be saying that he also thinks that Euclidean geometry is flat Earth geometry, do you think?
That would be a big faux pas.
Oh, I would think so, but I mean, we just need confirmation off him. I mean, I'm not the expert on flat Earth geometry. We are just humble geometers that do Euclidean geometry, simple stuff. It was PhD Tony that said flat Earth geometry, McToon. So if you want to state that, then it's PhD Tony that you should be talking to, not me. But I'm guessing I can get a clip of PhD Tony and we can make a nice little clip of us doing a video for you, McToon, about how we're asking what flat Earth geometry is. I could save a few tweets from McToon. I'm wondering how many more. I'm just having a quick look on Twitter. Let's see whether I can copy link. Maybe I can get it on. There we go. There we go. You guys see that on Discord anyway. This is me asking. I've been asking McToon. Oh, look at this. Look how big this thread is. Look at that. "30th of November 2022. That's about me asking McToon to do a proof for proof. Early December 21. And then McToon comes back 20th of March. McToon, you're talking about my surveying qualifications, my land surveying qualification. And then I asked, did I miss the bit where you explained what flat Earth geometry is? So that's me asking McToon and then having the bit here where he says flat earthers claim, and the challenge says using only flat Earth geometry. And then here's a tweet about Ordnance Survey Twitter department saying how shit they are at measuring distances. I don't believe it for a second. And then a lot more of this What have you advised McToon to say about what flat earth geometry is? Can you please show us the axioms and propositions for this geometry? This is me just asking McToon and obviously his army of people. This is WS. Now WS is saying that I pinned a tweet that specifically mentions flat earth geometry. That's the one that we've just been over. My tweet, main tweet. I'll take you back to that in a bit. Are you saying that McToon also thinks, like PhD Tony, that Euclidean geometry is flat earth geometry? Question mark. It's a question. Please clarify with man that issued the challenge. I was asking for McToon, and again stating the challenge says using only flat earth geometry. He says McToon has clarified it, and he has people working for him. Toon, he never actually has. He never answers for himself. He has just people doing stuff. I think there's a lot. It's a tactic a lot of them use to use other people. Then they don't actually have to say it. Because these people can just keep asking you and there'll be 10 or 20 of them just asking you rubbish stuff. I told him that I watched the video, but I'm talking to a troll here now. I'm not talking to McToon. But I keep tagging McToon. He's very clearly stated that flat earth geometry must be used. Can you please get him to clarify the definitions and axioms for the particular geometry he would like people to use? That's a very nice question. I've phrased it again a few times, and this isn't the only thread that I've done this on. And then somebody says, Dennis Whalebone says, it's really simple. You know what globe maths is? It's not that.
I love that.
That's genius, isn't it?
That is genius.
You know what? And I've just put, nah, I've never heard of globe maths either. What's that?
Never took a course in it. Sorry.
Globe maths. Can you imagine what globe maths is? Well, it's not that. Like, what flat earth geometry is not globe maths. I mean, that's ridiculous.
A plate of nachos is not globe math either. Jesus. This is the logic we're talking about here. Yeah. This is exactly the point of this discussion.
Yeah, yeah. Why logic? Well, because of this. You just go round and round in circles answering questions that don't make any sense whatsoever. So then I ask again, you can tell us what globe maths is while I wait for McToon to tell us what he thinks flat earth geometry is. I too have made up a geometry I'd like to compare. There you go. So, I mean, like, if it's about making up geometries, I can have that conversation. If it's about doing geometry, we can have that conversation too. We can do all sorts of stuff. And then McToon says, why do you keep asking what flat earth geometry is? You, in capitals, you claim to be the expert in flat earth geometry. No, I don't. I'll read the tweet that he's linked. It says, PhD Tony calls me a flat earther and talks about geometry. Learn about how flat earth geometry and how dangerous it is to the globe model at, well, that's the old server, MEUK. But we're here now. I might have to change that, right? That is my pinned tweet. 4,000 views. I mean, that's good, isn't it? I'll put that on in a bit. So I replied to him, because he's calling me the expert in it. And I said, I keep asking you what the geometry you state must be used in your challenge? Do you have a document or some information on what exactly this geometry is? PhD Tony called Euclidean geometry flat earth geometry. Is that the same with you? Hashtag try thinking. And then McToon says, you are the self-proclaimed expert at flat earth geometry. No. I don't know what it is. Or, again, is McToon saying that flat earth geometry, I don't claim to be an expert in anything. Definitely not geometry. So absolutely not flat earth geometry. But I mean, I suppose I could be called the expert in imaginometry. Nobody else knows imaginometry like I know imaginometry. That you can't mean it, that. It seems you are just deflecting from your total failure to be able to use sextant measurements to obtain the observer's position without using the globe. We all know why. Well, because I'm not a flat earther and I'm not taking a flat earth challenge, but I would like to know what flat earth geometry is. And then McToon says, here's an idea, Bev. Pop over to the Emma UK server and learn more about flat earth geometry. Here is a screenshot of some flat earth geometry expert advertising this very thing. And that's the tweet. No doubt the person that sent this advertisement will have the documentations. Yeah. And then, Bev, to give you a hand, I popped over to Discord and asked the person, now, did anybody see that tweet? Or is he just making this up? Because I don't think he didn't come here. Today at 1:56 p.m. Did anybody see that?
No, I've been here most of the day.
Coming in and dropping a thing about asking us about geometry. Show more replies. So he thinks it's that, you know, they're absolutely thrashing me with this idea of them not knowing what geometry is. Oh, look. He says, you're really going above and beyond the call of duty to help, Bev. You're a stand-up guy. You know that. This is McToon and his own people. So McToon says, anything to help out the mentally less equipped. Update for Bev. The guy offering to teach flat earth geometry has not yet provided the documentation, definitions and axioms you were asking for. That's McToon. He might be asking PhD Tony, I think. Or he can't be asking me, can he? How embarrassing would that be? Imagine you do a $10,000 challenge that's aimed at people like Nathan Oakley. And then when a random person comes and asks you, what is flat earth geometry? The guy that made the challenge turns round and says to you, you define it. You're in charge of defining this shit that I've made up for my $10,000 challenge. That can't be real, can it? Nobody in their right mind would possibly do that, would they? What sort of a gotcha is that? I'll find the... He's not even pinned the actual tweet. They've just took a picture of it. Here's my pinned tweet.
You know, you're insisting that your flat Earth geometry will work in every circumstance.
What are you talking about?
So
It's Euclidean geometry, dude. It's not flat Earth geometry.
Flat Earth geometry. I called you a flat earther. I called you a flat earther. This is basic. This is
Geometry.
Yes, this is basic geometry. Your flat Earth geometry. Flat Earth
PhD Tony. That's PhD Tony.
Basic geometry.
It is. Yes. What an angle is.
You're demonstrating you have no idea
three
what
angles,
basic geometry is, Bev.
each of which is 180 degrees.
There
There are
idea
three
what
angles,
basic geometry is, Bev.
each of which is 180 degrees. What's 3 times 180?
God, he doesn't
Sorry,
know
an
3
angle
times
of
1.
180 degrees.
Bev.
Each of which is 100.
Right, okay, so PhD Tony, this man here, the brain box of the globe side, obviously did model flat earth models in his PhD thesis to get his PhD. He made actual flat earth models. He's the one that calls me a flat earther and says flat earth geometry. This is the first time I'd ever heard this. Listen to it again.
You know, you're insisting that your flat Earth geometry will work in every circumstance.
What are you talking about?
So
It's Euclidean geometry, dude. It's not flat Earth geometry.
Flat Earth geometry.
So there you go. Oh, wait a minute. This is what he does. This is his argument technique.
Called you a flat earther. I called you a flat earther.
I called you a flat earther, he says. I'm not a flat earther, and I'm pretty sure. I keep saying, I'm not a flat earther. Just use Euclidean geometry with a straight line, being the shortest distance between 2 points, i.e. a radius that forms a circle with the ratio pi with the diameter over the circumference over the diameter, ratio pi. So McToon, if you're listening in, or somebody's listening in for McToon, give him a shout out. Just let him know. That's PhD Tony that's talking about flat earth geometry. We just talk about basic logic, reality, and Euclidean geometry. Please, McToon, can you let us know, and the people that want to do your challenge, what flat earth stipulated by you wrote it into your challenge. You didn't say a little bracket, see such and such a person for the definitions. No. You, McToon, you have put this as your challenge. People must use flat earth geometry.
Yeah, because I want your 10 grand.
Well, not to be put a dampener on it, but you know when we say you can do fuck all with an angle, that's because this shit can't be done, and McToon knows it. He knows it can't be done. That's why he stated to use flat earth geometry, because he knows.
Yeah, but then don't you also have to use his magic book?
Pardon?
Doesn't that mean you also have to use his magic book?
I haven't got a magic book. I'm not using his magic book. I don't think he
the
knows
one with
about
the
the magic book. That's what I mean. He's put a stipulation in his challenge that you have to use flat earth geometry. There will be no way at the end of this challenge, when nobody does it, McToon will end up saying, here you go, this is how you do it. right? Because if there is a way for McToon to say, this is how you do it, he'll lose his 10k, and he knows it. So he puts a challenge out there with a way that people can't do it. And even given all of the things for his method, he won't be able to do it either. So, time to man up, McToon. Let us know what flat earth geometry is. Your challenge. Your challenge. Your thing. Just define flat earth geometry. Be man enough to say you made it up. Don't be telling us about other people. Oh, we got somebody joining and leaving the server. Oh, Blue. Even Blue's having a go. Come on. Who's he sending? Who else is he sending out? Blue? Is this because he can't come on his own? Let's have a look. What's it Blue say? Has he put anything else, or did he just come with that? I've not been watching the chat. Has Blue been piping up and saying anything else, or is that it? This includes maps, star charts, dip charts, refraction charts, and calculations of distances over the surfaces of the Earth. What does? His geometry. Flat Earth geometry includes all of that. Oh, I can't wait to see this, Blue. Did he tell you he's going to do that? Oh, when's he putting that video out? McToon is really doing a video with including flat earth geometry, including maps, star charts, dip charts. He's giving him a hand doing all of that for him. Oh, well, nobody'll bother trying to do it now. Well, they'll wait until he brings out that challenge, that video with all of that stuff. Nice of McToon to give people all of that stuff in order for them to have a go. Calculations of distances over the surface of the Earth. You've got some geometry that includes calculations of distances over the Earth. Really? This is a new type of geometry. Does Blue understand what geometry is? Or has he just been told by McToon? Blue? Come on. You have to give us more information than that. Did McToon tell you to drop that? Was it just a copy and paste thing? Did you miss a bit of the message out? Flat Earth geometry. This includes maps, star charts, dip charts, refraction charts. Are you sure, Blue? I'm asking McToon for what the definitions and axioms and postulates, propositions are for flat Earth geometry. And Blue's saying this includes maps, star charts, dip charts, refraction. Are you adding that on top of me? I personally, Blue, I don't want for McToon to include all of that stuff. I just want to know what the flat Earth geometry is. I don't particularly want him to do flat Earth maps and star charts and dip charts, refraction charts and calculations. That's asking McToon a bit much. But I mean, if he's willing to put 10,000 down and do all of this work, obviously, there must be some gain in it for him. How much do you reckon it's worth? They're putting the 10,000 up. Do you reckon he's getting publicity out of it? Do you reckon he's getting his payback from it? Yeah, we do. He's blue again. He's doing another one. Yeah, we do, Bev. It's called spherical geometry. That's what you can't use. What? You can't use spherical geometry, Blue? No way. No way. That's non-Euclidean? Blue, has McToon given you the right to talk to him? For him, sorry. I don't know whether you're allowed to talk to him. He's a bit of a superstar now, isn't he? With this $10,000 challenge. So, yeah, we do, Bev. I don't know what I was saying, Blue. Like, can you please formulate your sentences? I don't know what I said. He said, yeah, we do, Bev. It's called spherical geometry. That's what you can't use. So we can't use a not real geometry. That's handy. But that wasn't the question, Blue. The question was, can McToon define flat earth geometry for us? Not, can McToon tell us what flat earth geometry isn't? Because that could go on forever. Please, can McToon define the actual geometry that he stated? Flat earth geometry must be used. Don't make something else up and say you can't use this. Blue, please. Brenda's being timed out as well. You've been... Have you had a word, Blue? Yeah, have a word with PhD Tony. He was the first person that I knew to mention flat earth geometry. I'd never heard it mentioned before, ever. That's why I put it up as my tweet ages ago. So, Blue, please let us know, first off, whether McToon has give you permission to define flat earth geometry for him. And then, or go and ask McToon. Go and find McToon, see if he wants to come and talk. I mean, if he wants to, I mean, obviously, I know the challenge has been specifically wrote for Nathan Oakley and QE. McToon's obsessed with them. We know that. He's flat earth obsessed. And we know that the flat earthers claim all sorts of stupid things. So that's why he's made the challenge. We know that. Oh, Blue says, update from Blue. Nobody gives me the right to do anything, Bev. Don't tell me who to talk to. Read the challenge. I copied it straight from there. Those aren't my words. Copy and paste. Copy pasta, Blue. Shadow Giant McToons has wrote those words down. You just copy and paste them for him. Tell him to come and copy and paste his own words, Blue. It's all right. Nobody tells you what to do. You just do it on yourself, on your own. We were talking about that, Blue, the auto response sort of thing. Is that what you do it? I mean, you say McToon didn't tell you to do it. It must be upsetting for McToon. Can you imagine setting up a $10,000 challenge and writing in something that you don't even know how to define yourself? And even when all of your little, not little, big, like Blue's one of the big men in this. Imagine having somebody like Blue being able to go into a YouTube channel that he doesn't want to come to. He doesn't act. He must feel forced into writing it. He doesn't want to give us any attention. It must be bad, Blue, having to break out of the hiding to let everybody know that you are actually listening. How many more of you are there out there? Wow. Logic. Why logic? Well, it helps you sort out things that normally wouldn't mean anything. Yeah.
Can I ask you a question?
Who's that?
Okay, so it's Rob.
All right, Rob.
So Blue Marble Science is in the YouTube chat talking shit, saying it's spherical geometry that they're using for whatever. But how do you get elevation with spherical geometry?
Yeah, there is none. I don't think Blue knows that.
I don't think they clue in to how you get elevation when it's spherical geometry that's only two-dimensional. Like, do they think the Earth is two-dimensional, or are they just fucking stupid? That's what I'm getting at. Blue Marble Science, give your head a shake.
Yeah, they have different people for doing different jobs. Brenda's the one that says it's 2D. And then you get Rumpus that says it's 3D. You never know which one you're going to meet. I mean, I don't know whether Blue has a 2D spherical mathematical concept of a sphere, or the 3D Euclidean actual sphere, the ball. Don't know. Nobody knows. Not even McToon, it appears. He can't even state what it is. He doesn't know what flat earth geometry is. I definitely don't know what flat earth geometry is. It's not a real geometry. It must be a non-Euclidean geometry. That's it. End of. There's either Euclidean or non-Euclidean. That's the one that we need to get from McToon. And if it's a non-Euclidean, then he would need to be able to give us the axioms, definitions, postulates and propositions. So we could maybe prove a few things within the non-Euclidean geometry. I'm not used to using non-Euclidean geometries. because they're not real. They don't exist. There is nothing in reality that you can ever prove with non-Euclidean geometry. They should know that. Oh, we got George in as well. As you would have guessed, Essie, take note. The elevation information is in the metric that defines the surface. This, of course, is beyond your understanding. Beyond it. Within the metric that defines the surface. 2D. Somebody else says spherical geometry isn't two-dimensional. Has he got a surprise coming? He says the surface is two-dimensional. There you go. That same person, DER, says the sphere is three-dimensional. The surface is two-dimensional. Elevation would be a different dimension. Just like on a flat surface. What? There is no elevation on a flat surface. What's wrong with him? Matrack should be metric. All right. So metric. I mean, we'll read that in there again. George says the elevation information in the metric that defines the surface. The elevation information is in the metric that defines the surface. Still doesn't make any sense, does it? But George says we wouldn't understand it anyway, so I do understand elevation changes in reality. Paige has got it. How much elevation is there on a flat surface? 0. Because it's flat. There is no elevation change. I don't know what's going on with people. Oh, I've got my cats here. I don't know what's going on. Come on, Blue and George. What is McToon's version of what flat earth geometry? I'm not bothered what George thinks or what Blue thinks. We need to know what McToon, the guy that set the challenge, states as flat earth geometry. It's got to be getting a little bit embarrassing, and you guys have been stalling for him far too long. It's his challenge. Why does he not have it defined? What's the purpose of that? Does he think he can just get away with saying, no, that's not flat earth geometry, because nobody's defined it? That'd be, well, I'd say that's fraudulent. That would definitely be. If you are setting up a challenge to get people to give you, and you have no intention of paying any money out, that's possibly fraudulent, is it? I don't know. I'm not going to do the challenge because, for one, I don't know what flat earth geometry is. Why would I want to do a challenge when I can't understand what flat earth geometry is? I've never heard of it. Don't think it's real. In fact, I'm pretty sure it's not real. It's not a real geometry. Most definitely a non-Euclidean geometry. Getting some chat. Bev, A flat surface is two-dimensional. It's not. Flat surface is 3D. Because it exists in reality. A plane is a two-dimensional surface. That's mathematical. He says flat is a two-dimensional a flat surface is two-dimensional. False. To get elevation from a flat surface, you need a third dimension. This is third grade stuff. Yeah, vertical change. All horizontals are parallel, and you measure a vertical change for an elevation change. Yes. We know that. We've said that all along, DER. Thank you very much for bringing us into the fray, though. Oh, George says, I am not familiar with the McToon challenge you talk about, so do not ask me, Bev. There you go. Don't bother asking George about McToon's $10,000 challenge where he asks people to use flat earth geometry. We were asking George. So, okay. I won't ask you again, George, obviously. Because you wouldn't know anything about flat earth geometry. Because you don't know anything about McToon's challenge. So, don't worry about it, George. You just hang about in the chat. Commenting about the things we say. About the Globers not coming to McToon's defense, right? They all know. I think the memo's gone out. Do not answer the question, what is flat earth geometry? McToon has told everybody, don't answer. Only answer with what it isn't. Uh, 2D, George, is definitely a plane surface. There's no third dimension for it to move around in. There's only length and breadth. It's pretty obvious what a two-dimensional surface is, George. Anything more than that too, you're talking about 3D solid geometry. Some what is, I'm gonna have to keep saying, I'm definitely gonna have to do a video for McToon, a short one. What is flat earth geometry, please, McToon? Don't want to keep harping on about it, but the logic of somebody wanting to wow, the logic of somebody, he must be a wealthy man for somebody to be able to have 10,000. I mean, somebody might have that in Bitcoin. Somebody might have it in... well, I mean, could you still be I don't know how it works. Could they still be making money out of it in Bitcoin? Just siphoning the profits off it. Because, I mean, 10,000... I don't have 10,000 hanging about. Don't have 10,000 for anything, really. But McToon has got 10,000 to put in escrow to advertise himself as, I don't know. What's he advertising himself as? The big, great globe? Or is he flat earth basher? A chief flat earth basher, bashing them with a challenge that he knows nobody could ever possibly do. Escrows like it's a bank system thing, I think. It's where you just put 10,000 in there, so it's safe. It's... I did hear Brainy Beaver mentioned, so I'm not so sure how safe is. But that seems like a lot of money for me to be putting up. I mean, I could understand when Dave Weiss did his for the Globe Proof, 3 Bitcoin. A lot of money. That's a good chunk. And he asks for a Globe Proof. Well, that was what got us onto the proof project, to find out that they haven't got a proof. They don't have proofs. So I think Dave's Bitcoin's safe, but slightly for a different reason than McToon's. Definitely different than McToon. McToon, I believe, is I think you can't call it scamming people, but it's being very, very, very deceitful, possibly fraudulent. But I don't know. You'd need somebody to look into it. Somebody who can't state what the stipulations for his own challenge are surely should making people question things. So I'll just check Twitter just to make sure, see whether he's noticed that we're on here. Well, I've got a Flat Earth Society guy out there. Ooh. Yeah, they're looks like the guys are all after calling me a flat earther when I have proofs it's not flat. Obviously, there's elevation changes. So if anybody wants to have a conversation about what flat is, because I mean that's fucking ridiculous. But I mean, I know people will say that sort of thing. Is George back again? Yeah, McToon. They're on Twitter at the minute. They're all trying to say, obviously, best line of defense. Just say Bev's a flat earther. That'll get him out of it. I don't think so. I don't think you can get yourself out of this situation by saying that somebody else is something that they say they're definitely not. A lot of people have called me flat earther, obviously. And I would imagine there's going to be a lot of tweets out there and stuff that they're going to be saying, Bev, you said this and you said that. Ridiculous. You know what the trolls are like. So, who have we got? Check the chat. It's pretty active tonight. No, there's not. They're not. Do they reply to me talking, and then I miss out on what it is, or are these super high-ranking trolls active in the chat, talking to you guys in the chat? What's going on? Yes, Eric. The challenge is set up because he said you have to use flat earth geometry. And I'm pretty sure within this conversation that nobody really understands what the geometry is. You've had people for quite a while talking about globe geometry, and now McToons is talking about flat earth geometry. Neither of them are real. Just doesn't make sense why people would make this stuff up. Well, I know why we made up Imaginometry. It's because all of this stuff doesn't quite work good enough. Yeah. There's no way to respond to that statement, George. Yeah. You can't take globe geometry. What is globe geometry? Did you really write that page? Don't think so. I mean, who's using terms of things that aren't real? Yeah, George, please stop misrepresenting it. Have you noticed that as well? I keep saying that with the logic. They selectively hear something that you didn't say. Brenda was doing it the other day, and it's really annoying. They only hear what they want to hear, and they reinterpret what you say because they think you're not clever enough, and they are clever enough to interpret what you say. It's dangerous talking to some people that are like this. There is only Euclidean geometry in reality. Oh, I give away the answer to the quiz. Anybody can answer it however they want. But the only usable geometry in reality is Euclidean. And that's proved by pi being a transcendental number. It's pretty obvious. The game's up, guys. You're even doing challenges that aren't real. That's embarrassing. There's nobody to play your game. We can see the game now. I don't know why anybody would want to. There's no way McToon's going to hand over any money, is it? Because the people that it's aimed at should be going for it and should be doing it. But I think McToon knows. McToon knows that nobody can do this. And the people that's got sextant, the age of the sextant, they obviously know that they can't do this. Globe geometry is no such thing, George. You don't think because somebody said it, you can just miraculously invent it and make it real. It's embarrassing, George. Yeah.
How did we get to the point where no one will even talk about it anymore?
No. It's embarrassing. Globe superstar heroes with $10,000 like ballers. Like, dance what? He doesn't know. He doesn't even know what he wants people to do. And that's embarrassing.
Apparently you can do the flat earth jig, but you can't do the globe geometry jig.
Well, the very fact that they use the term, I mean, I'm going to use my logical deduction skills, right? They use the term flat earth geometry and globe earth geometry. Now, I know flat earthers don't like globe earthers. Globe earthers don't like flat earthers. There's a dichotomy there. False dichotomy. But they hate each other. And you have to be either one or the other. So there is no way that flat earth geometry and globe earth geometry in the mind of McToon can possibly be the same thing. So what we know is there is definitely in McToon's mind a globe earth geometry and a flat earth geometry. That's a definite. Now, I know in reality there is Euclidean geometry, which is a real geometry. So now we've got 3 different geometries on the cards. Now, there's a chance for in McToon's mind for him to be thinking about Euclidean geometry, but not for both of them. He can't have Euclidean being flat earth and globe earth, because then there wouldn't be a separation between flat earth geometry and globe earth geometry. Or the other option is it could be a completely different geometries altogether. I mean, he may not be aware of Euclidean geometry and shapes like circles and squares and triangles, and he may not be aware that they are actually based within the framework of Euclidean geometry. He might, in his mind, have completely made up 2 new geometries to base his challenge around. I mean, who knows? He's completely be formed around one of his made up geometries. It may just be a completely made up concept that he's going to do with his, like for his challenge. He can imagine that he can do it with one of the geometries. And he can imagine that he can't do it with one of the other made up geometries, right? Like going to Narnia and saying, well, the pink wand works in Narnia, but not the brown one. It could be like that, right? He could literally be thinking just like that. One geometry that he's made up does something in his mind that he thinks it does. And you might just be playing the guessing game with him. Can you guess how he thinks geometry works? And can you possibly convince him that he thinks that geometries, the flat earth geometry, can work in his imagination? I claim not. I don't think anybody could ever possibly convince McToon that his imagination of what he imagines flat earth geometry could actually do the job that he wants it to do. Because he's biased. Definitely got a globe earth model dictating to him. And that globe earth, big E, for McToon, will not allow him to even define what flat earth geometry is. Because if he does, I mean, I'm not too sure. He might be that scared of flat earth geometry that if he says what flat earth geometry is, somebody might be able to do his challenge, take 10k off him. Do you reckon? There's a possibility, right? Is there a possibility that McToon cannot define what flat earth geometry is, because if he were to, somebody might be able to win his $10,000. It's a possibility. Just putting it out there as one of the possible reasons why McToons can't give a definition for what flat earth geometry is. I'll put it in the chat just so everyone can see his oh no, there you go, 2 things there. Using only flat earth geometry. That's McToon. He's got globe geometry there. Globe geometry, flat earth geometry. This is his challenge. Anybody else come up with any other reasons why McToons won't be able to define what flat earth geometry is? I think because he's either made it up, he doesn't know, or if he does, somebody might be able to win his money, and he doesn't want people having a chance of winning any money.
Hey, to that?
Yeah.
Flat Earth geometry's gotta be 2D. It has to be. And he knows that we live in reality, which is 3D. So that's why he knows his shit ain't gonna cost 10 grand. Like, he's not gonna have to pay the 10 grand. Because we all know that Earth is 3D.
Yeah.
And flat Earth geometry must be 2-dimensional.
I'm thinking so, yeah. I'm thinking globe Earth geometry is also 2D. Wow.
Whoa. But then how do we have elevation if their geometry is 2D?
They don't know.
The elevation part, the elevation part kills them.
Yeah.
You can plot points all over a sphere if you want, but you can't get any elevations off that.
Yep. Yeah,
Holy trigger, Batman. Sorry, Rob, I thought you were done.
No, man, I was done. My mic's muted.
Yeah. Go on, do you want to... I've got to go and make a brew. Do you want to reply to Wally?
I haven't read it yet. It's going to take me like 5 minutes to read it. He wrote me a thesis here.
Yeah. It's live. Well, we're live. I mean, look at that wall of text that Wally's writing. He's writing SE love letters. Now, that sort of stuff doesn't happen every day. When you get number 2 of the Wolf Pack coming into our Discord server, we're very honoured.
The ISS has him very, very triggered for some reason.
Yeah, big swimming pool. I don't think he likes swimming.
Yeah, whereas Wally, I mean, there's a picture of somebody dropping something on your mythical ISS. I mean, if that triggers you, got to re-examine your beliefs.
They could never fake something like that, SE. Don't be ridiculous.
Yeah. Maybe they faked it. Who knows?
They wouldn't be able to keep that secret. Come on now, SE.
Yeah. Come on in now, Wally. We can discuss it.
It's too shy.
We can discuss the O-rings if you wish. I mean, it's logic night, but...
Well, that's logic, isn't it?
Yeah, it's true.
Not logic to say that's fucking ridiculous. You can't have a big fucking thing like that floating.
I think so.
Within the realms of logic, I'd say.
I don't research. He says, of course I research. Come on in. You'd be surprised how much I know about your mythical floating ISS. Not an expert by any means, but I know some of the Achilles' heels, shall we say.
Oh, I would almost pay for somebody to come in and talk ISS logic. That'd be great.
This is the night, yeah. Me too, Askin. I would love that, especially Wally, the number 2 man, Bev says. Wow, that's an honor.
Self-proclaimed number 2. He is, that's what he does. He calls himself the number 2. And my granddad used to call that. when I was a little nipper.
Son was number 1 and you were number 2, I imagine. Yeah.
No, when we were going to the toilet. You going for a number 1 or a number 2? So Wally's definitely a number 2 in my book.
I thought you meant it like, the captain of the Enterprise has the number 2, but yeah, okay.
No. Yeah, he did introduce himself as that. I mean, you must imagine how powerful the wolf pack are. I mean, everybody's heard of the wolf pack. Unapproachable Wolfie, who just makes videos about people, sticks out of the way. They never come and talk. Well, Wally's number 2. He's a bit shy. I assume Wolfie's a little bit shy as well. I imagine Wolfie now is that shy of coming out and bringing his own arguments out because they're fucking ridiculous. He lets Wally try him first.
Oh, he sacrifices the number 2.
Yeah,
right.
it makes logical sense, right? You never put yourself out there with a ridiculous argument because you'll look stupid. A bit like McToon. So what Wolfie does that I think McToon doesn't have on his side, he doesn't have a number 2. Wally does the putting the stupid shit out there for, and they see whether it works. They need a lot of people to do the putting the shit out there because people get to hear it. And obviously people incorporate these arguments when they hear them. They incorporate these words into their arguments without actually knowing what the argument is. And because a lot of people have a compliant people on the other side that are arguing anti-argument, people tend to get the argument all mixed up. I think that's what Wally's there for. He's there just to obfuscate as a distraction. As most of the arguments are, they're arguments to nothing with no purpose. You'll find yourself arguing like that for hours over nothing and getting nowhere with a lot of these arguments. I say not getting anywhere with them. They often get us somewhere after the fact where we can discuss them. But the actual arguments with the Globers never go anywhere. Oh, somebody said this server will be nuked when the new terms of service come in. Why is that, Julie? What's up? What do you think we're doing wrong? Why? What are you setting it up? Is that part of the team? Why does anybody think this server should be nuked? This server's all right. Discord server. Or do you mean the YouTube channel? I'm going to send Bob in with some more strikes or anything like that. I hope not. Just a random troll in the YouTube chat, is it?
Is that Bob in a sock account?
It could be.
He is onto something.
Come on in. We can talk about nukes.
They're on about nuking the server, though. The Discord's the server, isn't it? But I don't know. I'm not into this.
They're so aggressive.
Yeah, well, I think that we've got a few people in the chat that may wind them up. But, I mean, yeah, you're right. They do come across very sort of anti... Call it free speech, but, I mean, are we really? We're not going overboard here. I mean, why on earth would somebody want to shut this down? You'd have to be really bad.
Because they know we're winning.
Oh, Julie's a flat earther, not Bob. Wow, is that even the flat earthers are after trying to shut us down? That's not good.
I'd have thought a flat earther just would have firebombed us.
Yeah, coming. Unless they're teaming up with the Globe Earth Council.
I don't know what you're talking about. I'm here every day and I love it here.
Yeah. No, Julie in the chat. It doesn't really have a name. It's just got a blank thing. So looks like it looks like they've got a new account. End of month. I don't know what you're talking about. Can
That's
anybody
definitely
make
Bob. Rakia picked them off.
My private one was already warned. Private one what? Wow. Always interests me when you get the accounts without the profile pic or anything. Probably like new accounts.
Just another sock.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I can't see why people would want to be shutting down random servers that talk about Euclidean geometry. No matter how triggering it is with people with a model. Either model. Otherwise, people will just be able to make any model and say that other people are triggering them. Shut it down. And if we've got anybody out there that wants to come and do the proof for proof challenge, we are quite willing to take them up. We will go proof for proof on, well, it doesn't really matter, anything. That'd do. That'd be good. Preferably a glober or a flat earther. I'd go head to head with a flat earther or a globe earther. Proof for proof. Anytime. Oh, Discord have got new server. Yeah. Why do you think they'd shut this server down? Next level. What do you think? Because the Globers can come in here and get triggered. I don't think that's a reason for shutting a Discord server down. Just
Maybe
because
we can make them a safe room.
Yeah.
They come in, they see globes hanging, they see stars, globe music. We'll have Buster make a globe song, and you can feel comfortable. You don't have to come here.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not too sure about the terms of service. You've got it right there.
Well, who actually believes that a single platform can stop what is going on in here? It's just gonna go somewhere else, which it might do anyway. That's not even really something to even be negative about. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, it does say addressing health misinformation. So I'm not too sure about that. Health misinformation. Like it says there, if they classify the disbelief of a model as a mental issue, they might have a chance. But health? I'm not too sure. My health will not be affected by my non-belief of a model. But I guess you never know. Yeah, I may have to sign up to the Globe. You may have to bow down to the almighty Globe.
They're gonna send you a salesman, and you're gonna have to buy a globe. Yeah.
Well, if they do that, then there will be no need for Globe salesmen. Where would they go? If you can't go to a Discord server, where would all of these travelling Globe salesmen that we have go? They just have to hang around. Yeah, they would have to go door to door, literally. I guess.
Like the witnesses.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess. I mean, that's possible, right? I mean, there is a chance that they could do that, but I'm not too sure. Because, I mean, would they shut down, like, skateboarding servers and gamer servers? Because they don't have many uptakers on the Globe salesman? Or is it the fact that we just ban all the Globe salesmen and then we can say we don't have any? It is called Discord. So you would imagine it would be good to have two different sides. And also somebody in the middle to mediate. Discord would be wrong to ban this particular server anyway. Goes out after them trying to shut down YouTube channels.
That's why I'm here, Bev. I love it here.
Any anti-science misinformation will be removed to reflect the new laws in the UK. Wow.
What?
Yeah, well, there's anti-science and then there's anti-science, isn't there? I mean, that sounds like a bit of a doom and gloom.
Anti-science? That's the first time I hear that.
What somebody says. what happens is every few months Discord's AI randomly deletes servers that get over a certain amount of reports. So Globers come in and report everything, which triggers the AI monthly cleanup. Do you reckon that could be the thing? I reckon the Globers will get a bad name for doing that. But I'm guessing if you look in what's in the chat, who knows? It's always a bit weird with people trying to get people to say stuff, but I mean, we don't. Yeah, that may be a different topic. It's definitely not the topics we deal with in this server. People may have the wrong impression of what we are. We are not a flat earth server, and we don't anti-science, whatever that is. We don't anti-geometry. We just talk about shit in reality.
And it's not logical to worry about some social media site.
Yeah, that's definitely not us here. A lot of people have that, and they have a fear of things as well. There's no fear of talking about reality or logic. You cannot live in fear of that sort of stuff. And we definitely won't be doing that here.
You shouldn't live in fear of anything.
Yeah, I know that the people that have been out to label me ever since I came here with a label, they're going to keep trying to do it. They're just going to keep doing it. That's the only tactic they have. Not a flat earther, never have been, never will be. It's not flat, obviously. Now, holding that contradiction and being able to hold the contradiction, I mean, could that be classed as normal, and anybody not holding the contradiction be shut down? I mean, I don't see how that'd work, but stranger things have been known to happen. I've seen films about stuff like that. Whether it's predictive programming or not, who knows? We're just going to be here doing what we do.
Yeah, and that's the point. We have no idea what to expect next, but we are fully prepared to do all the giggling necessary.
Yeah, well, Julie, you're the first person to mention that. We don't have those conversations. We don't need to. Talking about censorship is put people in fear of not saying things. Causes censorship of the self. Not a good thing. Most people here don't need to talk of that sort of stuff because we don't need to have those conversations. I personally try not to be influenced by anything outside. I don't watch any news. I don't watch any TV. Don't read any papers. I don't look any social media. I don't get involved in it.
except for Twitter.
I don't know what's going on here. I'm not too sure about openly flat earthers talking with the globe earthers as though they're friends. About one of them says, this is in the chat. One says something about Julie. So they're removing religion, opposite of science and logic. Julie says, yes, all cults are going to be removed also. What? Religion is a cult now. And a cult that goes against science and logic.
So has banning free speech and thought become like acceptable now to these people? It's very scary if that's the case.
SE, you live in Canada. Hold on to your hat.
I hear you, bro. It's like the sheep have accepted, have thrown in the towel, have bent the knee. Why you bend the knee, Julie? Don't bend the knee ever.
I think the cult of calling things cults might need to get banned.
Yeah, you don't like what's happening in that bar? Go to the next bar. Don't try to shut the bar down. What's wrong with you people? You know something? Your bar might be next. Just those who live in glass houses, eh? Remember that. Be careful.
I think that's the big point these people don't understand that are cheering on for people's voices to be shut down. Because their voice could be next. And I'm pretty sure they won't like it.
Yep. That's about the only thing we have that's sacred is our thoughts, our opinions, and our speech. If you let that go, you might as well put a bell around your neck and go bah.
Cannot paid NASA shills just left. He just joined. Obviously a mistake. If I clicked on the button and went, nah, not going to go back there. Rakia's in. That's how you keep paid NASA shill out. You have a Rakia handy.
Kryptonite.
You can't even be in the same server. Yeah, I've always been, I've been on Twitter for many years now. I've never been banned, never been suspended, never been anything. I just talk about reality. Just talking about reality seems to trigger people enough. And I figure that's the safest way to be. Just talk about reality. And that's all you need to do. I mean, they can shut you down for talking about reality. But the only reason they shut me down is because the Globers get triggered by me talking about reality. There's loads of people that talk about what I do. The same thing. It's no different. Basic geometry. It's just that they don't talk around these parts to the same sort of people that I talk to. Or that we talk to. And it's the people that we talk to that get triggered and get upset about it. And if we get shut down, it'll be those people that are silencing us because they don't like us talking about reality. Well, would that be any reason to stop people talking about reality, or would it just be a reason for those people to keep away? I mean, we are just on the internet. We are just talking to people on the internet, and there are people getting upset about it. Well, they don't want us around. They can just stop being around us. We're just on the internet. Just switch off. Don't listen. That's the easiest way of doing it. You can't shut down people that talk about reality just because you don't like people talking about reality. If you want to come and talk about reality, come on in and talk about reality. If you don't like people talking about reality, don't get triggered about it. Just switch off. Go somewhere else.
Go to the other bar. Yeah. You have two bars, one across the street from each other. One plays rock, one plays rap. You personally, you hate rap, so you just go to the rock one. No, you go to the rap one and tell people how stupid they are listening to rap. I mean, it's nonsensical.
It's not Discord shutting it down, Julie. Discord's not shutting it down. They might be shutting down things that they have to shut down, but they're not shutting us down. They're not shutting down people who talk about geometry. They're not talking about people that do live music performances. They're not going to talk about shut down people that do tests in reality, that go out, film sunsets and stuff. They don't do that. They don't shut down people that look at the moon. They just don't. There's no need for us to fear that. Truth for All says, Bev, you need to find out which of your moderators keep blocking me. I know that they're afraid, but get some control of your channel. Well, he wrote that, so you can't keep blocking him, so that doesn't make any sense. That sounds... doesn't make sense. James has just come, maybe a little bit late to the party, James, but yeah. We need to find out what McToons thinks flat earth geometry is. Thanks for bringing it back up. Yeah, Boris, the cult of geometry and reality, and how you can apply geometry to reality. It's weird. The cult of the straight line being actually straight. Logic, I suppose. I mean, if they have to shut down stuff that's dangerous, then I'd say logic is pretty dangerous. But it's about as dangerous as critical thinking. Or perhaps the fact it may be that we're talking about logic and critical thinking to normal people. Maybe that's what's up. You might need to be super rich and be able to employ people to give you lessons or go to colleges and stuff like that, rather than just basically learning stuff on your own. I doubt it, no. It's a strange world we live in now, where people are in fear of all sorts of things.
Remember one thing, whichever side you're on, always protect free speech, because you might be next.
Yeah, that's right. In 10 years, when we're speaking in tongues just to fool the AI. Prison speak. George left to watch the news 30 minutes ago. Did you get your fill, George? Well done. Guess what? I was talking when George left, and I happened to be talking when George came back. George, next time you go and watch a program for half an hour, come back and let us know what you were doing. See you, Julie. Thanks for popping in. Has anything good happened on the news, George? What was the best bit? The weather. Right, so as a collective, how do you assume we are going to get McToon? I thought I keep saying it and getting him on Twitter to do that. How many people have been affected by McToon's and his challenge? Have you particularly ever heard of anybody, like, has somebody tried to get you to do McToon's challenge? How many people out there have been offered it by someone? To get a bit of a consensus, is it as many, or is it not really getting round the? I mean, I know we're a little bit out of the flat Earth arena, but I mean, is it getting touted by Jose? Is it over there on Geo's? Is Ruhif pushing it? What about Gem Panda? Is it over there? Anybody seen it over there on Gem Panda's server? What about on Nathan Oakley's? Does he have a representative all over there? I mean, where is McToon laying this challenge down, or is it just? I'd like to know, because if nobody knows about it, then it might be specific for this particular arena. He might have done it specifically to give to Nathan Oakley. It might just be a publicity stunt for him and Nathan Oakley to get publicity out of. McToon knows that nobody else will do his challenge for him because he's got. Oh, a lot of tornadoes in Texas. I don't watch the news, George. But it's good to see you come back here straight away after doing that. Thanks for Thanks for coming back. Why do you watch, George? I mean, what is it? What is it that keeps bringing you back? I want to see if we can get some more of that. We could do with bringing some more triggered boomers in. They keep the text chat active. Right, last hour. Anybody else want to come in with some? Yeah, we did logic, but I mean, did I cover the logic enough? Not too sure. Yeah, George doesn't know what spherical is, I'm afraid. RBD face. We will have George go over soon of RBD face. And we'll go over Larry's surveying thing. I've still got to do the guy from Maine. Still got to go over that one. How they all internalize the argument. Yeah, there's another guy on there says Mac Toon, his challenge is rigged. There you go. I mean, it's not good. It's not looking good. Has anybody actually looked at it, or are we just sort of... I don't know. They're keen for people to have a go. They don't even need a sextant, apparently. You can just use some angles that he's given you. Some angles from 2018 or something. 4-year-old angles. I mean, you'd have thought he could get some more up-to-date ones. Sounds like an old challenge that he's dug up from somewhere. $10,000 is a lot of money to be putting up in escrow. Well, if it's given to Brainy Beaver. I don't know where Brainy Beaver will be keeping it safe. Gods, what are you doing with Apple? You dragging up old arguments.
No, I'm just doing my research. It's not an argument. It was just to show my research. Apple started with their first logo, had it on the tree over Newton's head. That was actually their first logo for less than a year, I think it was.
Yeah, that's something else that didn't happen, isn't it?
You don't think that happened?
He said it didn't happen.
Oh, you mean Newton or the logo? Yeah. Oh, I thought you meant the logo. Yeah, I don't know if it happened or not. But I was just saying from their perspective how it grew into what it is today. I mean, someone wants to believe it's something different. That's cool.
What do you think about people putting 10K up for something that can't possibly be done?
Pretty safe bet.
Yeah. Would you think it's good for like publicity or whatever, right? If you imagine you make a straw man group of people, right? Then make a challenge for that straw man, and then put $10,000 up for the straw man challenge, and then get people that you want to put in that straw man group and tell them to do your challenge, as though you're the guy that's the boss. It's clever, isn't it, for publicity? If you want to act like you're the big man and nobody can do your challenge, then...
Well, he didn't define his challenge very well, did he?
Oh, but he can still go round, can't he? Yeah, there you go. He should make it 100k. I mean, imagine how good he'd be then.
Yeah.
Yeah, make it 1 million. And,
I don't know how all this money comes into it anyhow.
It's my 600th video, apparently.
Well, congratulations. 66 more to go.
Yeah. That's what I think I'm going to... we'll try and emphasise the McToon and his flat earth geometry and his challenge. I don't like the idea. I've always been defending flat earthers. And I think this particular thing that McToon has decided to do, he's taking something that a certain group of flat earthers have done, and he's getting anybody and he's bashing them with this particular challenge that's not aimed at them. I mean, I do have a sextant. I've never been bothered with the sextant argument. Always thought it was ridiculous to start off with. And I don't take too kindly when people like McToon start coming round telling me I have to do his $10,000 challenge. Well, I'm not interested in it. But I am interested in knowing what flat earth geometry is. And I'm interested in knowing why somebody would want to make up a fake challenge just to make it look good. He's letting everybody know he's got 10,000. That he can just sort of... People that don't have $10,000, that's a carrot. But people don't see that in order to have a look at the carrot, you've actually got to make up a geometry. And then you hand it over to him, and he can laugh at you because you've just given him flat earth geometry. He doesn't know what flat earth geometry is, quite obviously. He'd have defined it for us in the rules.
McToons is a master troll. I don't know why anybody would take his challenge, in quotation marks, seriously.
Somebody says I'm fearing DER. What the hell have I got to fear? Nothing. Definitely not McToons' stupid challenge. Oh yeah, I don't know whether... Yeah, I've had to take down quite a few videos, you know. Not just those two that are copyright, 3 that certain people have copyright struck. But there's more, many more that have had... Ooh, it's got my face in it. Ooh, somebody posted a video in the chat. That was the beginning one, the starting one. And he made me take those videos down because somebody had posted something in the Discord chat. So yeah, we do know how the censorship works and how YouTube system works and how people can get other videos taken down because of something that they say's in somebody else's video. That's why you've got to be careful with what we put in the YouTube chat. But Bob knows that as well. He he has socks that may be putting stuff in there now. Who knows? Wally might be putting a secret code in there now with some really stupid shit, and he might be able to pretend it was somebody else or something. You never know. I mean, Wally said that horizontal bends. Now, I would call that misinformation. And I'd say there's a thing in all of this where there's a lot of people who have been misleading people, and which isn't going to be good for their mental health. We just try and bring clarity and understanding to the conversation. If anybody is struggling with mental health issues, especially of a model afflicted nature, I'm unaware of whether this is the best place, but the only thing you'll get here is honesty. So whether you can take honesty about your model affliction, I don't know. It might be triggering. It might be too triggering. You might be better off being somewhere else. Maybe a Globe Earth server where you can bash on people and, you know, team up together, reinforce the globe a bit more. Maybe better than somewhere like this here. But still, we have globe salesmen constantly. They never stop. What's PPD? Who's Trulin? Talking about Globers with their indoctrination. Is that on the Globe channels? Do they indoctrinate you over there on there? I've never really been allowed in a Globe Earth channel. I tried to go over there and talk to some of them, but yeah. Maybe they didn't like me because they couldn't indoctrinate us. George, do you not think we bring clarity to the discussion? It doesn't seem to make much clarity, make anything clearer to anybody, George. Precious. Well, that's a weird name as well. This is the time of night. I think it should be time that we shut down. Has anybody got any final words? I mean, it's a bit of a short night for Logic Night, but it's a bit tough. Hump Day tomorrow. That'll be interesting. Anybody got any ideas what we should do for Hump Day? Thank you. New sub, Patrick. Does anybody know what we want? Anybody want anything in particular tomorrow for Hump Day? I'll try and get some stuff together. I've been going over a pie video with Brenda. I'm thinking most of you guys know it, but I'll try and put it in together into a radius pie package for a straight line. We're working on a thing for the test also. I'd like to do the proof thing first. Get the test out. Get the geometric proof for the test out. Talk it over you guys. See how you all think it will go. And then start taking it out on the road, seeing if anybody wants to hear what the test is. I think, did Rumpus say he's going to be doing his test soon? Or was it, oh, it's Slice Barcane. He's going to be doing his test. Testing season's coming right up. The geometry of perspective is the Globy's imaginary curve, Gary Wabenga. No, perspective geometry is entirely Euclidean. I don't understand that. Well, yeah, our test, maybe get a few ballers triggered about it. Maybe a good idea. On hump day, go over a straight line and why the proof is already there in Euclidean geometry. Can do. Anybody got any final words? We'll shut down and go into the after party, into the Discord. Plenty of stuff to talk about in the back channels, if you know what I mean. Anybody got anything? Or a Buster song? Anybody got a Buster song for the quit then? Let's go. We had Logos on the way in. Yeah. Greatest speech. It's already been done. There you go. Right. All queued up, ready to go. Anybody, final words? Logic Night. McToons. Answer the question. What's flat earth geometry? Buster. Greatest speech. Come join us tomorrow. Hump Day. Wednesday. See you later.
You have the love of humanity in your hearts. You don't hate, only the unloved hate. To those who can hear me, I say, do not despair. The misery that is now upon us is but the passing of greed, the bitterness of men who fear the way of human progress. The hate of men will pass, and dictators die, and the power they took from the people will return to the people. And so long as men die, liberty will never perish. Let us fight to free the world. Let us all unite. Don't give yourselves to these unnatural men, machine men with machine minds and machine hearts. Let us fight to free the world. Soldiers, don't give yourselves to brutes, men who despise you, enslave you, who regiment your lives, tell you what to do, what to think, or what to feel, who drill you, diet you, treat you like cattle, use you as cannon fodder. Don't give yourselves to these unnatural men, machine men with machine minds and machine hearts. You are not machines, you are not cattle, you are men. You are men. Let us fight to free the world. You have the love of humanity in your hearts. You don't hate, only the unloved hate, the unloved and the unnatural. Soldiers, don't fight for slavery, fight for liberty. In the 17th chapter of St. Luke it is written, the kingdom of God is within man, not one man nor a group of men, but in all men, in you. You, the people, have the power to create machines, the power to create happiness. You, the people, have the power to make this life free and beautiful, to make this life a wonderful adventure. Then in the name of democracy, let us use that power. Let us all unite. Let us fight for a new world. A decent world that will give men a chance to work, that will give youth a future and old age a security. By the promise of these things, brutes have risen to power, but they lie. They do not fulfill that promise. They never will. Dictators free themselves, but they enslave the people. Now let us fight to fulfill that promise. Let us fight to free the world. Let us fight to free the world. Let us fight for a world of reason. A world where science and progress will lead to all men's happiness. Soldiers, in the name of democracy, let us all unite. Let us fight to free the world. Let us all unite. Let us fight for a new world. You, the people, have the power. Let us all unite. Let Let us fight for a new world. In the 17th chapter of St. Luke it is written, the kingdom of God is within man, not one man nor a group of men, but in all men, in you. You, the people, have the power. You, the people, have the power to make this life free and beautiful, to make this life a wonderful adventure. By the promise of these things, brutes have risen to power, but they lie. They do not fulfill that promise. They never will. Let us fight to fulfill that promise. Let us fight to free the world. Let us fight to free the world. Let us fight for a world of reason. A world where science and progress will lead to all men's happiness. Soldiers, in the name of democracy,